Um, I never imagined that, I would be a 43-year-old junkie, you know. But my worst fears as a kid were being homeless, you know. As a little boy, I remember the worst thing I could ever face in life is living under a bridge. And if you don't face your fears, you always have to come to grips with the fact that they're going to eventually show up in your face. I'm pretty close, I'm staying in a sober facility, a sober house right now. I don't have employment. It's very hard for me to get work with other people. I have a very bad history of relapse. I have a bad history of, criminal charges. People don't like to give chances. People don't trust, and it's really hard to come up in society and make it forward when there's so many people out there doing the right thing that are suffering. Some positive things is that I'm extremely ambitious. Extremely ambitious. Once I get a plan of action that I believe in, I almost always make it happen. Almost always. So if I can see a path towards a successful end, I almost always see it through. The worst part about it is that once I get there, I almost feel like it's a sense of accomplishment and requires a celebration or some type of relief from that major triumph. And I pull the whole house down on top of my head. Go back out and start celebrating, partying, using. If you're a real alcoholic, a true alcoholic, you can't control when you start drinking. The only answer is 100% abstinence. The only solution. Because it has nothing to do with alcohol. It has nothing to do with drugs. It has to do with your inability to handle drugs and alcohol. So once you start using, you're not going to stop until you can't, until you hit a bottom. Some bottom, whatever your bottom is. Whether it be ending up in jail, whether it be ending up broke, whether it be emotionally bankrupt, something's going to stop you, and then you'll stop. But until then, you won't. I know quite a few different programming languages. Almost all of them self-taught. It's PHP, Cold Fusion, Java, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, frameworks on all levels of those. KPHP, CodeIgniter, Miro framework, Coldbox, CF Wheels, Spring framework, Grails, Groovy, the programming language. A lot of different languages I've learned, and I've learned them all in the hopes to excel in my career. I've done pretty good, but inevitably my drug addiction has been a problem. Now that I got the drug addiction and alcohol out of my hands and into God's, I've got a really good shot of moving forward and bringing my life to success. As long as I do that on a daily basis, things are looking bright. Even though I'm facing homelessness, I'm still looking up at the stars. There's a lot of, issues with people being brainwashed. Hey, instead of being an addict, I'm going to spend my entire life going to meetings to help other alcoholics or addicts, or going to church religiously and getting addicted to exercise or work or whatever, changing your addictions. That's called cross-addicting, or projecting. You're just swapping one addiction with the other. I've seen friends with 15, 20, 25 years of being sober, and they go back out and start using again because they're not happy. It happens. Yeah, I've seen people who are stone cold junkies sticking needles in their arms every day for breakfast. Just stop and move on. Something happened. They had some psychological experience, some personal, emotional catalyst that changed the way they think, feel, and act. And they changed their life. Yeah, I'd be more than willing to. If somebody was interested in my story and it helped somebody else, I'd be more than willing to help, hey, my life has been such a roller coaster ride and has been so painful and unpleasant because of my inability to face and get rid of the facts that hurt me. It's just the worst thing I'd wish on my worst enemy. I would never want anybody to have to deal with this nightmare. If I can help somebody not go through what I've done and help them, sure I'll help. Using doesn't help. Get sober. It's the only answer. You don't need to, but you have to want to. If you want to get high more than you want to get sober, you're going to get high. But if you want to get sober because you like what other sober people have accomplished, you'll definitely see that and want to get sober. Because in the end, it's always the same when you're using drugs or alcohol to manage your life. You end up in jail, you end up in institutions, or you end up dead. That's it. The only way out is to get sober, for whatever means necessary. And it can't be a human being. Humans can't get humans sober. It has to be God. Whether you believe in God or not doesn't even matter. Just whether you think that God can help you is all that matters. You don't even have to believe in God. You don't even have to know who God is, don't know anything. As long as you say, God, please help me, and you really mean it, He'll come to pass. He'll come to help you. I have no doubt of that. Yeah, there's all kinds of different types of addicts and people who use at different levels. And I don't think anybody ever manages it, really. Some people just have it. Some people are not addicts. Some people just use drugs because they like it. And they're not addicts. They're not alcoholics. They're just recreational drug users, you know. And then there's addicts who are not. You know, there's people who can go in and have a couple margaritas, a couple shots of tequila, a couple lines of coke, a couple shots of heroin, and put it down. Not me. That's it.